We told you, my brothers and myself, we told y'all that the demand for real racism far outweighed the supply. And now there is emphatic, irrefutable truth. So pull up a chair, take a seat, and let's converse. Well, I'm still within the framework, so I can't exactly go on a cuss spree yet. But how about I hit y'all with this one?
Told you. I told you. I told you.
That's right. I told you. We told you that everything is not racist. Every act is not some grand form of racism, despite what this chick has to say.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Bitch, no, it's not. It's far from it. Let's dive right in with a headline. Oh, that I knew was coming in some form of fashion. Not to this level. Oh, but I knew that this headline was a coming. You see the headline? It says it all. Federal grand jury charges Southern Poverty Law Center for wire fraud, false statements, and conspiracy to commit money laundering.
What?
It says here, between 2014 and 2023, the SPLC secretly funneled more than $3 million in donated funds to individuals who were associated with various violent extremist groups, including the KKK, Aryan Nations, and the National Socialist Party of America. If you don't know about that last one, they're referred to as Nazis. So you might be wondering, well, Tuck, what the hell happened? I am so glad you asked. I will let the acting attorney general and FBI director Kash Patel inform you.
Good afternoon. Today, a few minutes ago, in the Middle District of Alabama, a grand jury returned an 11-count indictment charging the Southern Poverty Law Center with 6 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of bank fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. According to the charges in the indictment, the SPLC is a nonprofit entity that purports to fight white supremacy and racial hatred by reporting on extremist groups and conducting research to inform law enforcement groups with the goal of dismantling these groups.
A noble cause, and they actually did a damn good job of it. Do your own research on the SPLC. When they were formed back in, God, I forgot when. But they did a lot of good work when it came to fighting and protesting these different radical racial groups. As a matter of fact, if you look into it, I may put it up in this video or not, but look into it, and I think they actually bankrupted a branch of the Klan. So out of a lawsuit. Yes. As a matter of fact, I remember it. They did. A college student, a black kid, got hung by the Klan. They were found liable in a civil suit, and they had to shut down that particular branch, and it started the whole collapse of the Klan. That's one of the reasons you haven't heard the Klan being this big thing. So yeah, there's that. I will now let him continue.
As the indictment describes, the SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred. The indictment describes this conduct in detail, but one troubling example is that the SPLC was paying a member of the leadership group that planned the Unite the Right protest in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 that resulted in the death of one person.
Y'all remember Charlottesville, don't you? That's the one where the media edited President Trump's words to make it seem like he was saying that white supremacists had just good people on their side.
But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
And with that, the press has, for years, been lying to you. They've taken one sentence out of a very rowdy exchange, completely out of context, so that they can paint Trump as some sort of Nazi sympathizer, including ABC News.
That now infamous moment in the wake of neo-Nazi protests in Charlottesville.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
And notice that they left this part out.
And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
It turned out to be one big flagrant media fuck you to all the citizens of America. Interesting that they were the ones who paid for that BS.
And injured dozens more. This particular person being paid by the SPLC allegedly received approximately $270,000 over the course of 8 years.
That man took $250,000 and off somebody. Congratulations, SPLC. Money well spent. You stoked the racial fires so high that it made an old senile man who had retired from politics up and run for president again.
And that's when we heard the words of the President of the United States that stunned the world and shocked the conscience of this nation. He said there were, quote, some very fine people on both sides. Very fine people on both sides? We can't forget what happened in Charlottesville. Even more important, we have to remember who we are. This is America.
Money well spent.
In total, according to the indictment, between 2014 and 2023, SPLC paid at least $3 million to 8 individuals at least. These individuals were affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan, United Klans of America, National Socialist Movement, Aryan Nations Affiliated Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club.
That's a long-ass name for a motorcycle club. I mean, damn.
Nationalist Socialist Party of America, Nazis, and the American Front. Now, as the indictment lays out, after SPLC paid members of these extremist groups, it created work product that reported on these activities that the members participated in or contributed to. And to that end, it was doing the exact opposite of what it's told its donors it was doing.
In case y'all don't understand what he said right there, since he said it in such a long-winded and I feel unnecessary way, he was saying that they were paying to create the disease that they were hired or invented, established to get rid of.
Yeah, that was it. That's it.
Not dismantling extremism, but funding it. To carry out this scheme, SPLC created bank accounts in the name of at least 5 completely fictitious organizations that had no bona fide employees or legitimate business purpose. The money was passed from SPLC to one sham account to a second sham account and then loaded onto prepaid cards to give to the members of the extremist groups. This was designed to shield the source of those funds, and because of this, SPLC is also charged with one count, as I said earlier, of conspiracy to commit money laundering. In conclusion, I want to thank the acting U.S. Attorney in the Middle District of Alabama, Kevin Davidson, who's in his district right now and not able to be with us, for bringing this important case, along with the FBI team in Alabama for their hard work during this investigation. This investigation is ongoing, and I'd like to ask Director Patel to say a few words as well.
So that's where we are. The Law Center, the Southern Poverty Law Center, that was established and created for the purpose of preventing racial injustice and stopping those evil white supremacist groups and things of that nature, specifically here in the South. Well, they apparently, by way of an indictment, have been paying for that very same problem. Now, you may think, man, it can't be that bad. Or how do we know they're telling the truth? Very legitimate point, very legitimate question. So I am going to do something like this. I am going to present to you a news article that defends the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we'll just use our common sense to see if they have any valid points, shall we? From the Alabama Reflector, part of State's newsroom, so a news agency in Alabama, their headline now I want that part to be known, this is a commentary, okay? So this is somebody expressing their opinion, not a factual news article per se, just some good commentary. And that's what this commentary says. The Southern Poverty Law Center prosecution is absurd. That may be the point. Well, I'm pretty sure that Mr. Brian Lyman, I'm pretty sure that he has something valid to present to us. For an administration that values loyalty above all, spewing nonsense is a sign of obedience.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm starting to sense a little slant here. Above everything else, the case against the Southern Poverty Law Center is absurd, maybe deliberately so. Okay, I have a problem from the giddy up. Why is it absurd? The indictment came down. They have in that same indictment the legitimate reasons for the indictment, why they are being accused of what they're being accused of. They told you they went through the length of the investigation over a 10-year period. They went back 10 years. So, okay, let's keep reading to see if he has something here. It's hard to tell with the Trump administration. It's a vessel floating on a current of spite, letting the vindictiveness turn it one way and then another with no apparent plan.
There it is.
Oh my God. Can we guess which side of the aisle Mr. Mark Lyman is on? Can we gander a guess?
Hello, Democrats.
But everyone on board is eager to praise their captain's skills, which may explain the blind fury the U.S. Department of Justice is bringing down on a group known for criticizing the direction the president is taking us. You mean the same DOJ that under Biden's administration went after Trump directly? That DOJ?
Get the fuck out of here.
Whatever. Let's keep going. DOJ alleges that the SPLC, a Montgomery-based civil rights organization, and I'm out.
And that is enough for me.
I'm going to keep going, y'all, but let's just stop for a second, okay? The SPLC, a Montgomery-based civil rights organization, hold on, Montgomery, as in Montgomery, Alabama, as in the Alabama Reflector?
Aha!
Yes. I already knew it was commentary. I kind of knew what to expect. But my God, dude, you should have just started this whole thing off with saying, fuck Donald Trump. It would have been much simpler.
Pretty much.
But let's read on. A Montgomery-based civil rights organization that made its name destroying the Ku Klux Klan was actually a secret ally of the Klan and other white supremacist organizations committing fraud on its earnest donors. Why? Because the SPLC for years paid moles in those groups to feed intelligence to the SPLC. Some of the information went to the FBI and law enforcement. Some of it went into SPLC's ongoing report on extremist organizations. Now let's stop there for a second. I can see that.
I'm open for another explanation, but it makes sense to me.
Had he taken all his personal shit out of it, this would be a much, much better read. This would be much more compelling. Because, yes, informants for different law enforcement agencies are on a payroll. That's not new. Hell, Whitey Bulger, one of the East Coast's most notorious gangsters, killers, was on the FBI payroll.
Damn!
So that's not new. He has a point there. He legitimately has a point. Let's read on and see what else. Violent racists are not known for forgiveness. So to protect their sources' identities, SPLC routed payments to the informants through shell companies. He is making some legitimate freaking points.
That's smart.
He's right. The shell companies that were mentioned by the acting attorney general could have been used to protect their source inside these different extremist groups. I am with it. He has me there. Let's continue on. There are plenty of grounds to criticize the SPLC. Does he name any? We'll see. But if you take acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Kash Patel seriously, the SPLC was actually deceiving the people supporting its anti-Klan activities. Then he has the quote, the SPLC paid, what the guy said, what acting Attorney General said. Let's jump down here. Let's take a brief spin through history. The Southern Poverty Law Center rose to fame in '87 when it secured a $7 million judgment against the United Klans of America, whose members lynched 19-year-old student Michael Donald in Mobile in 1981. Ha! Told y'all. The verdict bankrupted the UKA and forced them to sell their headquarters.
Damn.
And it goes on here talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center created a team called Klan Watch and all that kind of stuff. So he has legitimate points when he says you pay informants and you create shell companies in case those extremist groups do a background check on where they're getting money from. I'm with it. I am so with it.
I agree with y'all.
I just have a small, okay. That was something that Kash Patel said that they kind of didn't mention. Let's go back to it, shall we?
Thank you, General Blanche. What we're here today is to announce what the general just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive, sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just want to talk about a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups for a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups.
Now, we've discussed that. We covered it. Shell companies and money, you pay informants. So right now, Kash,
Kinda sus.
Mr. Mark had some legitimate points. Let's see where you go.
However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups.
What the hell did you just say?
Okay. Okay.
Well, I haven't heard any of this.
There's a difference between paying an informant and paying the leadership.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Mr. Lyman, let's carry on.
I just want to say that again. They used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed violent extremist groups.
That's messed up.
See, that's not paying an informant, Mark. That's paying the big dogs. That's paying the ones that run the show. That's not an informant, sir. That's literally called funding racism.
Mm-hmm. The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses.
It's over.
Okay, yeah. Now, see, now we're not paying an informant. They're telling you, and y'all know the FBI. They may not get the conviction, but when they dig deep enough, they find things. Whether it sticks in court, something else. But they do have what they have,
totaling over $3 million. Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the Southern Poverty Law Center on top of perpetuating this widespread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud, conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network. They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud.
Stop! He's already dead.
This is a serious and egregious violation of a group that purported to dismantle violent extremist groups, but in turn actually only fueled the hatred.
Now let's go back to that news article and see if they address the things that Director Patel brought up. Let me see. Violent racists, blah, blah, blah. We can go back further, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Let's do this one. SPLC's use of informants in those groups has been public knowledge since '86. It has used paid informants and has been known since at least '94. Okay. So if you're an SPLC donor, blah, 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 get to some more. As Chris Ginder of Law Dork pointed out, the $3 million DOJ claims SPLC spent on informants over 9 years was a pittance compared to the $123 million in revenue it reported in 2023 alone. Are they saying the revenue that SPLC or DOJ? Because either way it goes, how much you brought in doesn't matter if you are illegally spending funds.
That's a fact.
If I make $1 million and illegally spend 10,000, what's 10,000 against $1 million? What is that? 0.001%? But doesn't matter. It's not the amount, it's the act.
I mean, that's true.
Okay, here it is. The indictment is a lot of chutzpah. I thought that the last name Lyman might have been Jewish. He proves it. The indictment is a lot of chutzpah from an administration rushing to restore Confederate monuments, erase federal exhibits on slavery, as the Atlantic put it, shut down legal immigration, specifically. Oh my God, he goes into, so he's not going to address what Kash Patel said.
Not at all.
Kash Patel said they paid the leaders. If you ever want to know if you're on the right side of an argument, especially when dealing with someone on the left, one of those extreme liberals, you can always tell if you're winning when they start changing the argument, when they take the point to a different direction. They move the goalposts. They do a lot about, what about? Well, what about? And I'm not anti what about, but they are until they need to use it. So Mr. Mark did not bring up any of the points Director Patel mentioned when he said the SPLC was paying leadership, not informants. He didn't bring up the acts that were paid for. And I find more distressing is, since that broke on the 21st of April, and we still haven't heard the SPLC refute any of this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So isn't that interesting? If you go look into this, you'll see you have not heard a peep from the SPLC in their defense. But you have a lot of people speaking for them and barely address the issues that were brought. In the different articles I've read, they have mostly, with the exception of the one from the, the Alabama Reflector, with the exception of that one, most of them simply do the point of finger thing. This ain't right. It's Trump. Trump trying to shut it down. Trump hate it. Trump hate him. What about the acts they're accused of? But Trump. What about what they are accused of? Have they been funneling money to the people that they are claiming to bring down? Have they actually been funding racial terrorism? But Trump, I hear you. What about the accusations and the indictment levied against the SPLC?
Well, we're waiting.
You can't defend them. because not even y'all know about what's going on. And that's kind of the point. Do y'all remember when this happened? When Trump got elected and he busted U.S. aid? Do you remember what everybody was talking about? Because at that time, the person who busted them was his special, I want to say his special financial investigator, Elon Musk. When Elon Musk found where all that money was going, they never talked about or even charged the government for that reckless spending. They went after Elon Musk.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
He has too much information. What about us giving this money to gay pride organizations overseas? Elon Musk, he gonna fire everybody. What about this stuff we are contributing to overseas, like gay comic books that have nothing to do with us? But Elon Musk, you see, they don't address the issue. Their job is to deflect because they know that the issue is real and has no defense. It's an indefensible action. And that's where we are with this. The SPLC is indefensible.
And that's it.
I don't understand why people don't get mad at the SPLC, but get mad at Trump. It's just like anything else. You're being presented with problems. You're being shown what the government and what these government entities are doing. They're showing you how they are fucking over the American public. And instead of you going, say, man, we need to get on the government's ass, y'all all are trained like clapping seals to point at Trump.
That's right. 'Cause you see, baby, when you like it, you lose.
It's his fault. Okay. It's the training. People are just trained to blame him without actually looking at the problem he's bringing to your attention. Now, as far as the claims against the SPLC, not shocked at all. As I told you in the beginning, my brothers and I said this years ago during the Summer of Love and the St. George Floyd protest. It's all a scam. You don't understand that the demand for racism far outweighed the supply.
True that. True that.
And I know that there are some people that may be going, well, why would they do that, Tucker? Why would a group whose job it is to stamp out racism and these racist extremist groups, why would they be funding them?
Good question.
It's quite simple. Why is there no cure to cancer? Because there's more funding in fighting a problem than actually curing it.
That's a sad commentary in and of itself.
You don't understand. If you actually look at the racial activity, the racist activity and the racist crimes that have happened since the heydays of the SPLC, they have significantly dropped. The SPLC did their job and they did it well.
Yep.
But now you're going to tell these people you are no longer needed. When you threaten to take away someone's livelihood like that, oh, they're going to find a way to fight back. And the way the SPLC fought back was, we're going to create the problem again. Is it devious?
Hell yeah.
But you must understand how absolutely common and logical that is. For as sick and perverse and as wrong as you may believe it is, and it is, you must understand that there is a self-preservation to that. And they are simply trying to preserve themselves. But the SPLC and entities like them, they've always been a grift. Let me take that back. Once the SPLC did its job, they were no longer needed, so they became a grift.
That's it.
The same thing as Black Lives Matter. Let's take everything back for a second, okay? Let's take everything back. One of the greatest things that my brothers and I had a problem with was when we'd hear all these celebrities from every corner of entertainment, sports, music, movies, whatever, doesn't matter. We'd hear them say, oh, I gave tens of thousands of dollars for the fight against racism. Oh, I gave this for the fight against racism.
Really?
No one ever stopped to ask themselves, when the hell did racism get a price? If racism had a price tag, then Oprah Winfrey, Bob Johnson, Tyler Perry, Bill Cosby, they could have bought black folks out of this shit years ago, decades.
Exactly.
No one ever stopped to ask where the hell the money was going, what was being done with the money.
That's true. That's true, man. That's true. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Because as the indictment against the SPLC is showing you, it's usually to nefarious means.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Let's take a look at Black Lives Matter. As of April 2026, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation is under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice regarding the potential misuse of over $90 million in donations raised in 2020, the year of all St. George Floyd. Separately, the leader of a local chapter, BLM Oklahoma City, was indicted in December 2025 on federal wire frauds and money laundering charges for allegedly using over $3 million. What is up with that number? 3. In grant funds for personal expenses, including luxury travel and real estate. Now, if you go down here, here is something that I found very interesting. Internal fighting. A 2022 lawsuit filed by Black Lives Matter grassroots against the national entity Black Lives Matter Global Network Funding, alleging misappropriations of funds, was dismissed in 2023. So the Black Lives Matter grassroots, which I am assuming actually wanted to do something to help the black community, called the other people out and the case was dismissed. In case y'all didn't know, y'all do know that Black Lives Matter didn't even pay for George Floyd's funeral, right? What? Just saying. So there is that. And every chapter having its own head has its own problems. Check this out. Up here, and this was done under Patrice Cooler's branch here, y'all. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation used nearly $6 million in donations to purchase a Southern California mansion in October 2020, a transaction that was kept secret for over a year. The 6,500 square foot property, known internally as the campus, features 6 bedrooms, a swimming pool, and a sound stage. Yeah. See, that's what my brothers and I were talking about. That's what happens when you blindly decide to give money to fight racism.
I don't get it.
All the money in the world cannot change a person's mentality. Racism has been a thing since the Bible days, Jews and Gentiles. You're not going to throw any amount of money at it to make it go away.
Period.
Oh, you may throw money at it to make a racist person deal with you, speak to you, treat you cordially, but that does not delete the hatred they have of you because of your skin tone or your race in their heart.
That's a fact. Facts.
No matter how nice they may be to you outwardly, inwardly, they despise your very existence. No amount of money is going to replace or change that.
Preach!
The best we can do, educate others, show them that no matter what race you are, the person next to you is still a human being and need to be treated with the same respect and dignity.
I'll say amen to that.
So SPLC just simply got caught later than Black Lives Matter. Well, thanks for sitting down and having a little chit chat with me. Before you leave, drop your 2 cents by leaving a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. The SPLC, Black Lives Matter, and paying to get rid of racism? Really? If you like this, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and you won't miss out on the next one. So, until then, thanks for your time and keep the conversation going.